Good morning, Sacred Space.
Good morning, Patricia.
Oh, okay. Whatever. How's everyone doing this morning?
Yay.
Yeah, yay? Yeah? Beth, what a blessing to see you. Yes. Okay, let's all give Beth this big hug. Oh, well, okay. So we're going to do something a little different this morning. We're going to do the opening prayer, and we'll do the blessing of your gift for Sacred Space. So if you'll take your gift and put it between your hands. Spirit, we're going to allow this to represent the abundance and health and joy of the whole universe. This morning, we keep in our hearts our brothers and sisters in Nepal. And we know that the love of the universe is surrounding them and is in them. And sometimes things that look like great catastrophes, and they are, remind us to pull together as one. Remind us that there is no separation. There is only the union of the one heart and the one mind. And we bless that for Nepal. We bless that all around the world. Everyone in every country who is feeling distress, we love. We give love, we give joy, we give health, we give blessings. And we bring all of that back into ourselves, knowing that the one who is thinking, the one who is loving, the one who is blessing is always only the divine, and so it is. So, just for a few moments, no notes on your phones, nothing, okay? Be really present. I want you to go ahead and take a nice deep breath. Now here's the visualization. We're going to breathe in peace and breathe out love. And I want you to please go ahead and open your eyes just for a moment. Hold your hands like this. Okay. And as you're breathing in peace and breathing out love, you're going to feel that ball grow and grow. Okay. And let's visualize it as a beautiful golden light. And when I tell you, when I give you, when I give you the urging, you're going to release it into the room. Okay? And as you release it into the room, it's going to fill up the room, and then it's going to start to fill up the universe. All right? This is your gift to yourself and all your brothers and sisters. Okay? So oneness becoming. So nice deep breaths, breathing in peace, and breathing out love. In peace and out love. Filling the ball up with the golden light. Peace and love. Peace. Love. You got it now. Peace. Love. And we're going to do that for just a couple of minutes in silence. And you begin to feel a warmness in your ball of light. And now with your heart very, very, very open, very grateful, go ahead and release your ball into the room. Everybody keep your eyes closed and feel the love and the lightness. And now let's open up the room to release that out into the universe. Nice deep breath. And just very, very slowly bring yourself back into the room. Okay, good. So from that place of deep oneness, I'm going to talk today about oneness becoming. There's a quote by John Van Auken, and he says, when we look around, we see multiplicity, diversity, and separateness. You are there, I am here. Your thoughts are yours, mine are mine. Oneness is not evident. Yet, from Edgar Cayce's trance-like connection to the universal consciousness, he saw and taught oneness. The first lesson should be one, 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 one. Oneness of God, oneness of our relations, oneness of force, that loving force, oneness of time, oneness of purpose, oneness in every effort, oneness, oneness. Oneness is powerful. We often forget that it takes just a few moments, just like you experienced this morning, to bring yourself back into the oneness. What separates us? Space, right? I'm separate in space from you. But that's an appearance. What else separates us? Thoughts. Thoughts are the number one thing that separate us from each other. Now, we have a uniqueness because we get to think our own thoughts. We get to, live this life, and our thoughts frame our life. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, when your thoughts cause you pain, then the separateness begins. That's when the separateness starts to happen. When your thoughts cause you pain about others and about yourself, that's where it begins. I had a very unique experience yesterday. So it was a very, very busy day. And I get a call just before I'm leaving to the hospital to see Mary Lou, my friend Mary Lou, some of you know her. And this woman calls me and says, "You do not know me, but I know so-and-so." Well, I know so-and-so from meeting this person once. And she says, "I'm from Portland, but my mom lives in Salem, and she's in ICU. Would you be willing to go to ICU and meet me and my family there and give my mom Reiki?" So I'm like, well, how am I going to fit that in? So in that moment, I was very, very honest with her. I said, "I do not know if I can. I'm going to gather my thoughts, gather myself. I'll call you back in 5 minutes." So I did. I thought, Patricia, you teach students how to stop time. Why are you so worried about it? So I called her back. I said, I'll be there in a few minutes. So I walked in, and it was this amazing, they were older, all of them were older, but her and her husband were there, and then her dad was there. And we were talking in the waiting room before I went in, and she said, I've learned Reiki, and I've given my mom and my dad, my husband, the attunements. So we will all be doing Reiki with you. Wow. So I went in, and they were, and I don't know, I'm going back after service today, but they were going to intubate her. And I walk in, and then the doctor comes in, and we'd been doing a little Reiki, and the doctor was very like, whoa, didn't know what, it was weird energy, right? And the doctor, came in, hey, and then she started speaking really softly, and then, it was just amazing. So anyway, I say to this woman, because she was awake and aware, and I tell her about how I had been blind for 3 months, and that was the diagnosis, and I was never going to see again. And I said, it's very interesting because, diagnoses are only permanent if you believe them. And, she has what they say is a progressive disease. What is that? What is yeah, it's a thought run amok. What's a progressive disease, right? It's like, well, that's a future trip you have right now. And so I start talking with her, and she looks at me, and I said, I heard your family say that you are quite the fighter. And I said, well, let me ask you this. Do you want to live? I said, well, let's live then. Let's do it. So I told her about how I visualized to get my sight back. I said, 15 minutes twice a day. Visualize. And then we're going to do Reiki. And I said, and Dr. Dream said this last night, it's like, he was talking about doing healing for tumors. And if you believe, I can't help you unless you believe, right? But I'm going to share something with you this morning. Each one of you has the power to heal like Jesus. These things I do, ye can do also and more. Each one of you. And do you know what it takes to do the healing? Yeah. Knowing that there is only one, and then somebody believes. Right? Do you believe? Yeah, I believe. It's done. It's done. That's how quickly these things happen. I'll be very interested. And I said to this woman, I said, you live in Salem? I said, oh, isn't it going to be grand to become friends? Yeah. I said, but of course you're going to need to be well for us to do friend stuff. Okay, she says. So it'll be very interesting. Whatever a soul chooses, there's no right or wrong, right? We don't know when it's our time to go. Well, we do, but, it's just an amazing journey when you go into the oneness with each other. It can be instantaneous, that oneness. I walked into the room, I always say, I have never met a stranger. And that is the truth. I've never met a stranger. When I walked into the waiting room with those 3 people, it was just like long-lost friends. Hey, how you doing? And they hugged me. It's like, well, yeah, because there's only one in that waiting room. And we're all showing up for each other. There's only one, and we're all showing up for each other. It's an amazing, amazing journey. So, in that is a celebration. So Ibn al-Arabi, who was a Sufi teacher, has this beautiful poem. And he says this, "Oh, marvel, a garden amidst the flames. My heart has become capable of every form. It is a pasture for gazelles and a convent for Christian monks. And a temple for idols and the pilgrim's Kaaba. and the tables of the Torah and the book of the Quran. I follow the religion of love. Whatever way love's camels take, that is my religion and my faith. Isn't that beautiful? That's so beautiful. He's a Sufi, right? That's from the Muslim faith. And he's brought everybody to the table with him. And he says, that's my faith. However that shows up, that's my faith. However it shows up for you. I was trying to think of something that Dr. Dream said last night that was that really made me think. Oh, he was talking about death because his partner is the great-granddaughter of Dwight D. Eisenhower. And I guess there's, because the work she does in the world, there's a lot of threats on her life. And she was talking about not being afraid of death. And she says, I'm not afraid of death because I know I'm going to wake up somewhere. Isn't that lovely? I know I'm going to wake up somewhere. So where are you waking up today? Right? It made me think there's not, are you living to your capacity? Are you waking up for yourself? Or are you going through the motions, which is kind of a death? Right? There's been so much going on, people say, so much going on, and then the Nepal thing, and then this, and then that, and I told you last week about, the thoughts about the heavens and everything, and okay, but here's the thought. A lot of stuff goes on all the time. Have you noticed? Right? I mean, it depends on where you tune in. If you want to read the news, or you want to watch the news, or you want to be on Facebook, you can see lots of stuff happening. So imagine this. I wonder how much your world would get rocked if you lived way up in the mountains and you were alone and there was only you in a cabin. You had no electricity. Nobody came to see you. Would you be upset with stuff that is going on in the world? How would you know? But yet it's happening for others, right? So are the heavens falling, henny penny? Right? I don't think so. It's a thought. It's a thought. We start to buy into these lines of thought that says, oh God, I just can't believe it. Everybody's just been so on edge lately. Things are happening all around us. It's like we're creating a big drama story, right? Here's a new story. The new story looks like this. Oh my gosh, I woke up this morning. Woo! I woke up this morning, my feet touched the floor, I had clothes to wear. I did not have breakfast. Note to self. But maybe you had breakfast, right? And then you came here. So from the time you got up this morning to the time you're sitting here, did anybody have like a major catastrophe happen? No. Now, you may have had some upset this morning, right? Little things that got to you this morning. Notice, if you will, that's a thought. If you were to replay your morning, if you did have anything that happened this morning, and you were to replay your morning, you could go back to that moment, and you could see that you were at a decision point at each of those things. Do I do this? Or do I do this? Right? Do I do this? Or do I do this? Because things are going to happen. They always do. But you are at a decision point at every moment to decide how you want to be. Do you want to be in the drama, or do you want to be in the flow? Drama gives you a great story. Get you all shook up, turns your life upside down, get you pissed off, right? It's very convincing. But remember when we started and you felt that, that's the flow. That's the oneness. The only thing that separates you from the one is yourself. And now here's the thing. When we say we're in the oneness, or oneness becoming, or there's one, notice that your mind goes, there's one. Have you noticed that? It's like, okay, there's one, but you're not feeling the one. You're not being the one when you think about the one. It's usually out there somewhere. We still have that flow of us that there's a one, but I'm not it. I want to feel it, but I'm not it. So what I'm trying to help you with this morning is becoming the one for yourself. You see, I can't become the one for Rebecca or Terry or Bruce, right? Or Renee, Steve. I can't become the one for you. I can only become the one for myself, and when I become the one for myself, then everything else is one. That is a universal principle. If you get that, you've got this. All right? As within, so without. As within, so without. I do not need to worry about if you become one or not. I only need to concentrate on my oneness becoming. And how do we do that? Yeah. Okay, so here's a little epiphany for you. You have never not been the one. You have never not been the one. Every thought that has led you to a feeling of separation is a thought of error. You cannot help but be the one. You are the one by divine design. And anything else that you are experiencing is not the truth. Now, it's a belief system, right? To feel anything different. It's also a belief system that might be new to you to get into being the one. How does the one show up in the world? Well, the one shows up as it really is, which is love. So if something is happening out here, you are at a decision point. You can say, if somebody's yelling at you, think about this. What's really happening if somebody's yelling at you? Yeah, they're angry, but here's the thing. And I remember Shriyam saying this, my teacher Shriyam saying this, if you did not know the language, right? And if you were an alien and you did not know the language and you did not know the facial features, what would be happening? You'd be like, right? Oh, they're inviting me to dinner. Nice. That right there, see that joy that comes up? You can have that the next time somebody yells at you. I'm like, I know. Well, you know what? I mean, what's crazier? Being in love or being angry? What's crazier? Right? So the next time somebody yells, you're going to remember this. Because as a hypnotherapist, I planted a suggestion. Joking, I didn't. But, you know, you're going to go, what? That's the beauty of Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 right? If it ain't love, baby, it's a foreign language. That's what I'm telling you. If it ain't love, it's a foreign language. You do not need to learn that language. You don't need to learn it. Oh, so what happens if give me something, a catastrophe or something in your life? Give me something. Somebody tell, because if you're all good, we're all good. So
Garnished wages.
Garnished wages. Okay, garnished wages. Okay. So are you still eating? We're good. You still breathing?
Yep.
We're doubly good. You see? Garnished wages, they come, they go, right? I know, I'm not minimizing the experience for you, right? But, wah, 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 wah. But it's the truth. It's like, it's the thought we hold about those sorts of things. Garnished wages, well, look at that. That's interesting, right? It doesn't mean that it's going to continue tomorrow. The more attention that you give things that separate you or that cause you pain, the more that you're inviting it into the doorway of your existence. You don't have to be in denial, but just because something knocks at your door doesn't mean it has to live in your house. You can meet at the door and go, you know, I'm not interested in buying that today, but thank you. Right? That's not a product I'm interested in. Give me another one.
Dog wakes me up 5 times in a night.
Dog wakes you up 5 times in a night.
Take me outside because he's sick.
Okay. So what's the problem?
You know, I finally figured it out that when he did last night, I'm like, okay, I can be really angry, or I can pick up my phone and play games until he decides to come in.
Right? So what's really happening? The dog is going out 5 times. That's all that's happening. Everything else is a story around it about you being inconvenienced, you being tired, right? It's a thought. The only thing that's really happening is the dog that's going out 5 times. Everything else is a story. And it's a story that causes you to say, God, you know, I just got to sleep. I can't get enough sleep, blah, 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 blah. But we know that you can because you're here this morning, right? We're good. I'm not minimizing it for you, right? I'm just saying it's a story. You don't have to engage in it. All right, give me another one. You're like, no, because you're not taking my story from me.
My husband's cancer diagnosis.
Okay. What's really happening? And so that's a diagnosis, right? And I'm not at all minimizing this for you, okay? Please hear me. But what did I say earlier? I said a diagnosis is a diagnosis. So as the one, right, while you're having compassion, while you're getting a different experience from this, right? You're getting a different experience. Maybe your heart's opening a little bit. You know, maybe things are coming in. Maybe you're feeling fragile. All of those things are happening. All of those things are informing you. All right, all of those things are informing you. It doesn't mean that information always makes us feel good, but it's something we can work with. It's informing your life. A diagnosis doesn't have to be the end deal. We've seen major remissions, major complete cures of cancer. And it's a belief. It's a belief system. I know I'm walking a very thin edge right now, and I'm very aware of that, you know, and I'm feeling your feelings as they come up. I'm not taking away anything from what's happening in your life, but this is an opportunity for the God in you and the God in your husband to show up and say, this has been very interesting. This has been very interesting, but now I want to go back to the place where my body was well. It doesn't mean that I have to have, you know, a 10-month experience with this. It means that instantly, I'm not in denial, I'm just not in acceptance of this. I've been reading, are you familiar with Max Gerson? So Gerson was a very profound doctor that was in the early 1900s, and I've been doing some of his research and some of his stuff because, you know, I have, well, the thought is I have these intestinal things, having lost 3 feet of my intestines when I was a teenager. And so he focused primarily on cancer. And what he did was there was a water fast and then a juice and vegetable fast that he had people do. I have a video if you're interested. I'm happy to loan you. And I'm not suggesting to do the Gerson therapy. What I'm telling you is that, you know, of all the people that went through that, they had complete remission, complete cure. Is that for your husband? I have no idea. But what I'm telling you by sharing that with you is nothing is a death sentence. There are so many resources out there. There are so many many things that can help us and can inform us. So when something comes up, I remember watching a nurse video that did the Gerson therapy, and she had stage 4 cancer. I think it was bone cancer. And when she got diagnosed, she was really upset with her husband because she said to her husband, I have stage 4. And he says, what a grand opportunity this is. Right? What a grand opportunity this is to work together and find what we can do with this. It was a very, and she struggled with that, but she's cancer-free today. The things that are happening are things that come up in our life, but we can choose to stand at which door of how we want to meet that. We can stand at a place of ongoing profound sadness and despair, or we can say, this doesn't have to be what it appears. I'm at choice. May not feel like it, but I'm at choice. And I'm here if you want to talk. Okay, no more. That's the thing. It's like these stories that come up, and they are stories, they're real experiences in our life, and they give us these feelings. But we can choose. Like when I lost my sight and said I would never see again. And by the way, pseudotumor cerebri is a very painful experience because it builds up the spinal fluid and cuts off the optic nerve. So it gives you intense headaches. And the only way they can do that is to take spinal taps and draw the fluid off. When the doctor told me, you're never going to see again, and this was going to be my life, I thought, you don't get to decide that for me. You do not get to decide that for me. And I was only 21 at the time. Didn't have a New Thought background. But, I was a little pistol. And I said, what do you mean? Because you know what? I love to read. Are you kidding me? You're not going to take that away from me. Well, you can learn Braille. No. No, I'm not interested in doing that. I'm not in denial of what the appearance is. I'm not in denial of losing my sight or that the cancer is there. But I'm not in acceptance of what you tell me is going to be the outcome. Not in acceptance. You do not get to decide that for me. No doctor gets to decide it. You don't get to decide. I get to decide. You don't get to decide that for your husband either. He gets to decide. And whatever he decides, it's his decision. It's okay. Right? It's absolutely okay. And having these sorts of hard conversations in community, we can shy away from them. Or I can tell you, this is what we teach. You don't have to agree with me. You do not. But I'm not backing down from the teaching. This is what I teach, and this is what I believe. And I'm right here, and ministerial staff is right here for all of you. If you need to counsel with us, you need to work through some stuff. Just because you sit in the chair and you hear the words and you feel the feelings doesn't mean that it's all going to disappear for you overnight. We're still having a human experience.
To address the yabbats.
Yeah, we do.
The yabbats, we hear what you're saying, or like, I know that's the truth, I agree, but then the human goes, yabbat, yabbat, yabbat. And so, it's like, look at that, and then go, oh, okay, again, because that's all those are too. Just more opinions, more ideas, opinions presenting themselves as a fact.
And that which appears to be a fact is very convincing because there's a lot of scientific research to back that up, right? There's, there's stacks of that stuff to back that up.
Well, just because something happened a certain way doesn't mean it's always going to happen either.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It goes back to the fact, truly, owning the oneness and owning the fact that we are the creator. We are the creator of our own lives and our own experiences, right? I was sitting with someone the other day, and they were from another place, another church, and a spiritual place in Salem, and they were saying, things are just really happening. My goodness, it's just upset. And I said, Well, you should have been here. And they go, here too? Oh, yeah, no, because we're the exception. We're the exception. I said, listen. If you come to community thinking that humanness isn't going to show up, well, you're soon going to be walking out the door, and that's okay too. It's okay if you come in, and it's okay if you leave. It's absolutely okay. You know, what I said to somebody the other day is, I have no expectation. I don't expect you to be here. I'm not one of those ministers. You come in, it's wonderful. You don't? That's wonderful too. There's no expectation of you to be any way other than you are, or to be anywhere other than where you're at. It's absolutely okay. But I just said to this person, hey, did you talk to your spiritual leader about how you're feeling? Yeah. Talk to your spiritual leader. That's not my business. Sacred space is my business. That's not my business. But my love is there for all communities, right? Go home and take care of your home. If that's your home, go home and take care of your home. It's okay. It's all right. Nice deep breath. Whatever's been happening in your mind and body the last few minutes, I'm going to take you back to the oneness. Okay? So we'll go ahead and take a nice deep breath and start into meditation. Eyes closed, go ahead and take a nice deep breath in. Breathing in peace and breathing out love. Breathing in peace and breathing out love. And every sound that might distract you, allow that sound to be the sound of love that builds your beautiful ball of light. Breathing in love and breathing out peace. accepting the oneness for yourself. And you might notice in this oneness place, there's nothing wrong. Because oneness is a feeling, it's not a thought. And when you feel that oneness, you feel the love. And you can't help but be one. Now, as your ball begins to build, and brighter and brighter and brighter, we're going to release the ball this morning and send it to Michelle and her husband, to the family. Because as she spoke this into community, community responds with all their love and all the healing and all the peace. So with the next deep breath, and knowing that there is only love, release that beautiful ball now and shower our sister with your love. And so that is. You're ready, taking a nice deep breath. And opening your eyes. I love you so much. I love each and every one of you so much. Thank you for making this such a special community. You are amazing. We do the hard stuff here. We do the love stuff here. Thank you for taking that back out into the world every day. What an amazing gift you are to the universe. Amazing. For those of you who don't know, that's my husband. I'm pretty friendly, but I'm not that friendly, okay? So let's go ahead and stand up and sing our closing song.